Hello everyone, this is Lien and welcome back to the Rachelle Anne Miller YouTube channel. Today I'm creating a Christmas card using this adorable digital stamp called Sweet Friendship. I printed this digital stamp onto Neenah Desert Storm from Crafter's Companion. This isn't a white paper as you can see, but you can copy color on them, and I just truly love the effect that it gives. It also makes your image way warmer than what you would have on white paper. That's why I wanted to share this card with you here on this YouTube channel, being something different than what I showed so far. Now, this adorable stamp is Christmas related, and as it is called Sweet Friendship, I wanted to make a Christmas card with it, so I decided to later on add a sentiment that says Sweet Christmas, just referring to the name of the stamp set as well as the Christmas celebration. Now for the hair, there is only a small area, so if you're not certain about coloring hair, then this is the image for you. I did some flicking, but it was really quick and simple to create. Also now onto the face, as you can see, I have a light skin tone today, and just on this paper it gives completely another effect than what you would have on white paper, but that will be all over this image, and I just truly love it. From time to time we just need to change it up, and I think this is a lovely way to do something different but still be in your comfort zone using the medium that you might be loving, which is in my case Copic color. So I'm working my way, like always, going from darkest to lightest color. Now there are many ways, as I said before, to copy color, to color with your alcohol markers in general. As long as you're enjoying what you're doing, you like the end result, then I think you're doing the right technique. Like, there are many techniques, and we can only show what works for us. But I know that there are also a lot of people that first start with a base coat of the lightest color and then start building up their combinations. But for me, it's truly going from darkest to lightest and going back and forth. Also with this paper, on some areas I will do 2 layers, but not everywhere. Personally, this paper works with alcohol markers, but I don't think that you can go overboard with a lot of blending neither, because I don't know if it's especially made for Copic coloring. So just because of that, I am being careful with the amount of layers that I'm adding. But as you can see on the red areas and where I think it's needed, I'm definitely adding 2 layers, but I'm trying to limit it to a max of 2 layers. This red combination is one of my favorites. I have been thinking of recreating this card, but then on white paper, to just show the difference, how cardstock and the color of cardstock can really matter on the end result. But so far I didn't find any time to do that. But I think it would be lovely to do a comparison, just create a card on Neenah Desert Storm or a similar paper that is also good for Copic coloring, or any color medium you like, and then do it on the other paper. I think that should be really fun. So on the dress or the coat, depending on how you're looking at it, I'm just going to add a few more layers just to have that shadow and the depth that I want. Also those pockets, I'm giving it something extra. I think from time to time I prefer starting with a lighter combination or with not as much shadowing, just to be sure that it's not too much. It is easier to add shadows or further into your image than to get rid of it. So I prefer starting up really softly and then bringing in those shadows if I need to. The birds I'm doing in a yellow. I don't know why, but I tend to do birds in yellow. It's also a really joyful color, so I think you cannot go wrong with a yellow bird. I don't know. But I think it would also have been cool with blue. I don't know why. I think the combination with this red combination and blue would be lovely. Using again that red for the rest of the clothing as well. I'm one of those people, you know, I'm trying to reuse combinations all over the images to keep it simpler this way. I think it sort of works. I'm doing that all the time, so I hope that it works. Also, there are some, well, this paper isn't white, so if you want to have some white areas, then I definitely recommend to have a jelly roll pen. I will use it on this image as well to add some white details where I want to. But first, for the card, I decided to trim this panel slightly smaller than an A2 size of width. I'm not going to trim it all the way yet because I don't know how I will place it on my card, but just the width of this panel, I'm already cutting it down. I will be using 2 strips on the sides, so I don't need like the, which is it, 4¼ inch. I'm thinking, yeah, 4¼ inch. I don't need it, so I think this is sort of 4 inches, and then I have, no, it will be 3 inches and 3/4, and then I have 1/4 inch on each side where that red paper that I use for the tweet will return on my card. So the tweet, I cut it out using the InStitches alphabet from My Favorite Things. And as I said, here I'm adding some white details using a white jelly roll pen. I wanted it on the snowflakes, on the dress on the bottom. Also in the hair there are those dots, those details that Rachelle Anne Miller added. I wanted to highlight them using some white. So I did that really softly. And then I aligned this tweed. I'm going to add it to this panel. And then I still need a Christmas, but just to be sure. I also had added some white highlights to the eyes. I thought that was a nice idea. And then I'm going to add that tweed. I'm using this triangle thingy that I had in high school because along the way I lost my T-square ruler when I was making this card. So I had to find something else to align my sentiment with. It worked fine. In the meantime, I already retrieved the T-square ruler, so next card I probably use that. Then I also wanted to have Christmas in my sentiment, so I looked for a stamp set that had a nice Christmas script in one of the stamps, and I found this Snow Kittens from my elephant. I'm just masking off all the rest of this sentiment so that I can white heat emboss Christmas on black cardstock. So once I did that, I could cut it out using some sentiment strips dies, really handy. Personally, I try things out by trimming my own sentiment strips. I cannot do that. I don't know why. There are a lot of people who make it really simple, but I cannot do that. So I need sentiment strips or dies to cut out my sentiments. And I found this one. It was the ideal size for the size of my script from the Christmas. And once I had it, I could, well, try to assemble a card. So first of all, I took my card base and I just added these 2 strips of that red cardstock. It's called Cranberry. On the edges. It's longer than my card base. I don't mind about that. I'm just going to add it and then I will trim off the excess using my paper trimmer. So I'm doing that. It's also not the exact size that I need. It's just a bit bigger to be sure that I wouldn't have any white space. So I'm trimming off the excess. And once I did that, I'm going to add that Desert Storm panel with my adorable image colored in on top of this card base. Now therefore I'm going to use some foam tape, and I decided to add it on my card base since the panel is slightly larger than what I need, just to make sure that well, that I had the adhesive there where I need it to be and not all over a panel that I will not completely use. So I added that. I have my bottom that I want to have, and then I used my Misty to align this panel. So definitely in the beginning I had a lot of issues aligning my things on top of my card base. Now there are several ways to help you with that. One of them is using your Misty. You can press your card base against the two sides and then do the same, press that panel that you colored in against one of the sides, or if you have a complete panel, against two of the sides, and then normally it goes well. So I'm going to trim off the excess now, and then I have my complete panel on top of it. I still need to add my Christmas sentiment that I'm going to do with some thin foam squares. These are black ones from scrapbook adhesives, but there are also white ones. I just happen to have both of them. And when I'm using a black cardstock, I prefer adding black foam squares. So I'm aligning them, and that is going to be it. This is my card for today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that if you haven't tried it out yet, you might try some other colored cardstock with your mediums that you like. Thank you so much for stopping by and taking the time to watch this video. All color combinations are listed in the description box, and I will be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!